Hey, this is a video about, are people defined by their race or culture or by their colour? Let's get into it.
But every cat's different. A lion's roll in packs. Every cat is a cat, but every cat's different. A lion's roll in packs. Tigers are solo. Leopards live in trees. They're all cats though. And every race behaves different. Regardless of what you want to say, every race, black people, we are naturally louder. We hang in bigger.
You can't say that black people are naturally louder. Africa is a continent of multiple countries. Yeah, you can't say that every African culture is the exact same. You might have quiet natures, cultures. You might have louder cultures. You might have introverted cultures. You might have extroverted cultures. You can't just say because you're black. A lot of things mix, like your parents, your society, your education. You can't just say that black people are all the same. For example, a white person that grows up on a council estate and a white person that grows up in a posh area and goes to a private school, they're going to be very different in the way they talk, the way they walk, their vocabulary, their mindsets. I'm not talking about positive or negative, I'm just saying different. For example, there'd be certain positives of coming from a council estate if you're a kid, whether you're white, black or Asian. There'd be certain positives on street smarts you'll get that you won't get if you're born into a posh and upper class thing. But then again, there's certain things where if you're born into a posh and go private school that you'll learn, maybe by financial things or savings or how to increase your money in certain ways that you won't get if you're from a council estate. So, like, it's ignorant to say that if you're black, you're loud. If you're white, you're quiet. Nah, you know.
Class. It's class. It's class and proximity, bro. No, because
regardless of what you want to say, every race, black people, we are naturally louder. We hang in bigger
It's class.
groups.
It's class. It's class and proximity, bro. No, because every race in the estate acts like us, bro. We've had Turkish brethren, white brethren. If there's a Chinese man, it's proximity and it's class. It's not race. We got race don't divide us as much.
Are loud, bro.
We have more in common with people of the same.
Are loud, bro.
We have more in common with the people of the same class as us than the people of the same race. A rich black man that's elite and snobby, you turn his nose.
But you're making him act white. That's not his natural habitat. In this elite snobby thing.
Look, first of all, we shouldn't call. I think Marx is trying to say something, but I think the term is not correct. And I know Marcus is right on the argument, but just because someone, not every rich or upper class person, ethnic person or posh person or even rich white person is snobby. They're not. There is a chunk of them that are. But you can't say just by default that people who are upper class, all of them just look down on poor people. Some do. Some are arrogant. And some of them are not even arrogant. It's just their normal life is just the way they live, and subconsciously they, like, when they see homeless people, this, that, the other, like, some of their biases come in. But some of them ain't intentionally mean. And yes, it can be a bit arrogant. You should be self-aware, and you should have sympathy and empathy and trying to put yourself in other people's boots. But when you're born into richness and stuff, and poshness and this, that, and the other, sometimes you just think that some people, you know what I'm saying, are homeless and this and that because they just didn't, you know, they just weren't, you know, they just didn't keep, like, they just wasted their life away, which is, it's not correct, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. But the point is that Loonz saying that that if you're black, that's not your natural habitat. What are you talking about, man? I see the problem is with Loonz is that I think he's Caribbean, yeah, but I think he's born here. I could be wrong. See, when you're born into England as a black person, yes, we have some black politicians, and yes, we have some rich, upper class black people like Ainsley the chef, and you know, sometimes we have certain people, black faces, in high places, and so forth, but they're few and far between. If you go up in a continent like Africa, forget all the stereotypes of people living in huts, and you know, like walking around with spears and all this stuff. Africa's a country, and not all of Africa was colonized. So when you go up in Africa, sometimes you see a country with a black president, a country with a black air force, a black black people who are the managers in banks, who are the managers of many CEOs or many you know, saying black owners of trades and stuff. So when you go up in a country and everyone from the highest, the leader of the country is black, the politicians are black. There's any business you walk into, the manager is black, and they, you know, there's teams working underneath them and so forth. You get a sense of, and also because you know your history before slavery, and what is possible to achieve. You don't see upper class or posh black people as not being in their habitat. When you're in London, you might see the odd David Lammy, you might see Ainsley Harriott, you might see a few black presenters on GMTV and stuff, but like, you're still in an obviously white country. But when you go up in Africa and you're used to seeing like rich, wealthy, and I'm not talking about the corrupt countries. I'm talking about the countries in Africa where the president's not corrupt, the politicians aren't corrupt. You know what I'm saying? The businesses, the affluent businesses and stuff like that, you know, are legal and all this kind of stuff. You get kind of sense. You don't see being upper class as selling out or uppity or partial snobby, you know.
Saying race. A rich black man that's an elite and snobby, you can't, you turn it on.
But you're making him act white. That's not his natural habitat. In this elite snobby thing.
How can it not be his natural habitat? What do you mean, black people can't be rich? What do you mean it's not his natural habitat?
Bro, of course black people can be rich, but why are you talking about? 50 Cent as an example?
What do you mean? He weren't born into that. 50 weren't born into that.
How can you say that every rich black person is a snob? Or, sorry, that's incorrect. How can you say that black people that successful, that's not their natural habitat? What are you talking about, man? This makes no sense. I don't understand how. Nah. And 50 Cent, look, 50 Cent come from the street, but he's matured. He's matured and stuff, and he's take the benefits he's take the good out of the. Americans have a saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Meaning that when you take a baby and you wash it and you clean it and stuff like that, with the bathtub, don't pour the baby in the bathtub. You don't get rid of the dirty water and the baby. You just get rid of the dirt from the baby and so forth, and then you take the baby and you let the dirty water go to the sink. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So 50 Cent took the street smarts from the streets and, being a drug dealer and just transferred it into business. You know what I'm saying, and so forth. And he got rid of the irresponsible behaviour that would get him nicked, and so forth. So using 50 is a bad example.
And that's the mindset.
Send as an example.
What do you mean? He weren't born into that. 50 weren't born into that. And that's the mindset. Man said it's not his natural habitat, so black man can't be upper class.
Oh, so he's saying...
He is upper class, though.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
He is now, though. So it's a bad example. You're saying it's not a man's natural habitat. You're saying black people can't be this.
I'm saying we can be
that. It's race, bro. It's not race, it's class, bro. It's money and class.
I'll be real. I think I would agree with Mark.
No way.
It is.
Look, the whole thing is, when the racists, there was a bunch of white racists that there was an incident, obviously everyone knows it, about where the girls got stabbed but in this dance club or something, and at first it was thought the guy was one Muslim and two that he was an immigrant, and he wasn't, he was born here, yeah, and I think he was actually Christian. It wouldn't matter if he's Christian or not, but because it doesn't matter if he's a Christian or not, that doesn't reflect on Christianity. But the whole point is that a lot of, when this happened, someone leaked that it was a Muslim and that he was an immigrant. So what happened, all these white people started doing these things, these marches and stuff, and basically whenever they saw an ethnic person, they were beating them up. And then there was marches saying they're coming down to London. I don't know what they thought they were going to do in London, and who they thought they were going to come to London to beat up. But anyway, they said they were coming to Croydon and said to come to Wolverhampton. Now,